It's CSFab, right?
Yes, it is.
You look gorgeous, by the way.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
What's your secret?
It's been a long journey. It's been a long battle. I started last year. Recently I picked up a journal, and in the journal I actually recorded where I didn't like myself, I didn't like my body.
Wow.
And it didn't hit me until last year, August. I was going through some struggles, in my personal life, accepting how to be a good mom, a good wife, trying to grow my brand and my business, and everything came crashing. I remembered I went to a pool, and it was my first bath suit I bought since I had my son. I put it on, I was so excited, I posted the picture, and somebody commented, I looked like powder milk in cold water. And I didn't cry in that moment, strangely, but I recognized that I needed to change, and that I can be better and I can do better. And that sent me into that process of just holistic health and wellness and balancing my life. And I knew it was not going to be a physical journey alone, because at that point I was mentally weak, emotionally weak, spiritually weak. So I knew I had to fix all those things before I can get to not only my pre-baby size and look and feel, because I felt like that was the best time in my life, but I wanted to be better than her. And then I put some timelines, because I want to leave Trinidad, finally pursue my fashion career, that I wanted to look and feel my best self while I was living my dream, or while I started to live my dream, because I'd put it off to be married and to have a child and to just remain in Trinidad. So for me, that was my cue. That comment was my cue. I don't take it harsh. I'm really grateful for the person that did it. I know who did it. That started this whole holistic health and wellness journey for me.
A lot of people, they get married and they lose themselves. They don't really focus on themselves anymore, because, they think they just have to see about your husband, but eventually when all that is done, you really have to find back yourself, to create that balance.
I agree with that. I think with me, I had this warped idea of what marriage was. I felt, okay, to be a mom, to be married meant I needed to be perfect. I needed to get up, cook, be active, make sure he was taken care of, make sure the baby was taken care of. And somewhere along that line, I lost myself and my goals, my dreams, my vision. And that made me very unhappy. And CSFab came about because at that time, a lot of people didn't know. I was one of the early people in the game to be retrenched when the economy was going down and stuff like that. And my husband was also retrenched. So I had to do something to make money. I had to do something to create an opportunity for myself, because as a public relations consultant, when the economy is low, I don't have any work. PR is last. When the economy is great and everybody is pushing to build their brand, then I'm first. And she came about. I knew that I wanted to come to this point where she didn't have to be that quirky girl on the screen anymore. Yeah. She can be the real human being with life experiences, because a lot of people would know this, but I've been working since I was 15. I educated myself. Everything I have, I did it for myself. I love my parents to death. I appreciated the journey that I had. But everything for me in my life came about from a place of necessity and almost desperation,
So what was your journey to this wellness product line you have here?
So after reaching that low point in my life, I knew that I needed to change. And I think I went through that Jada moment where I just needed to simplify things. And I felt like everything around me was complicated, from my beauty regime to losing weight to the way I was dressing, because CSFab was just, just over glam. And I decided I just wanted a very simple trainer who understood HIIT training, who I didn't have to go to a gym. That was one of the things I didn't want to do, because at that time I just had so much extra weight. I just wanted to just get down to getting the weight off. So that was my first thing, getting the best trainer, and I asked for recommendations, and I did get somebody excellent at Tiba. He's amazing. The second thing I did was I looked at my diet, because I wasn't eating right. I remember eating roti in the morning, having Chinese food in the afternoon. I was losing myself, because I was so focused on taking care of my family, taking care of my son, trying to make an income, that I didn't have time to cook. So I started to look at diet. Initially I started with like just simple salads and things that you would know to do. And then one day I stumbled upon keto, and I went a little keto crazy. I eventually got certified, becoming a keto and intermittent fasting coach. And that has changed my life. That has actually reduced my weight significantly, my belly, etc. And my regime included me doing things differently. So I knew that I wanted to push my boundaries. Like, nobody could have gotten me to going to push. Nobody. I was CSFab, I was glam, that was not happening. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take up hiking. So I hiked once a week. So I had 4 days of workout, 1 day of hiking. And I would take the most, difficult hike. So my first hike, I remember, was altitude. That's hard. And we still have a list of difficult hikes to do with my hike group. And my tour guide, Jal, he's amazing. And I've decided that fitness and beauty did not have to be complicated. You didn't have to spend thousands of dollars. You didn't have to go to a very expensive gym. You didn't have to have the best equipment. You just had to have dedication. Even the way that I do keto, I don't go for all those heavily overproduced packaged stuff. I look at what's local, what's seasonal, what's generally healthy for you, and that's the way I go. Even when my detoxers asked me, I said, no, this is not about those fancy strawberries. You go in your backyard, if you have lemons, use that. If you have mangoes, use that. Whatever is growing around you, use that. And that has led me to my products. So when I started in treating with my skin, I started to look at all those Eastern traditions in treating with my skin. So body brushing came up, body cupping came up, oils came up, massages came up, lymphatic drainage came up, and all those things I got certified in, because if I had to do it on myself, to me, I wanted to have the best knowledge. And beyond that, there was nobody in Trinidad basically offering that service. And I don't generally like to do things on my body if I don't understand the concepts or the background of it, because I did not want to get damaged in the process. So I got certified. After becoming certified, I realized that the products, they just weren't on the market here. And if they had to be on the market, they would be expensive. And I didn't want that. I wanted beauty to be simple, accessible, and everybody could live their best life. And so now when I have clients messaging me, people who would have bought the packages, I feel happy for them. I feel happy when I see the changes, because beauty does not have to be complicated. Beauty does not have to be toxic, and beauty can be cost effective. It's just how it's done.
And it's really the drive to how bad you want it,
It is.
How bad you really want to look better, how bad you want to feel better,
It is. One of the things I tell people, it all boils down to discipline.
Yes.
You have to be
number
one rule. Anything you want, just apply that, be committed, and you'll get it. Even with my products, if you buy the package and you don't use it religiously and militantly, then you're not going to get results. Because when I started, I would body brush morning and evening. I would cup morning and evening, and each session 20 minutes would be dedicated. And one of the things I have learned in this journey is that you always have time for yourself.
Yeah.
We just simply do not prioritize it.
Even if it's 30 minutes,
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. We always have that time. But I think we always look at ourselves last, and that is something I'm not prepared to do anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in my 50s and have health issues. I don't want to be in my 50s and struggling with wrinkles and bad skin and bad hair and bad teeth and not being able to run with my son. And I think those were the things that ultimately motivated me. I just did not want to have regrets in that regard.
So tell me a little more about your products. Let's get into it.
So this is what we call my body care kit.
Okay.
Initially, I would call it the anti-cellulite kit, but I think a lot of people confuse it and say, okay, if I had to have cellulite to use this, this is good for anything. And basically, it's just a curation of the things that I use now in my daily regime. And let me show you, I don't overcomplicate it at all. And I am trying to go super natural. My goal is really to end up on a farm one day and just making my products and selling them. So we got in here, which is very important for your skincare, brushes, body brushing. And body brushing is one of the best ways to just exfoliate your skin. And it is the best exfoliant really. And they tell you when you're choosing any beauty products, exfoliation is key. We can kind of get away with everything else in between, exfoliation and sunblock.
Because it will always bring new skin.
Exactly. Your skin is always, and that's a good point, Trisha. As you get older,
that's one of my favorites.
your skin regenerates slower.
Yeah.
So the body brushing actually helps you to exfoliate and helps that process to get quicker. All right, so it's better to do that as you're getting older. And this is what I call this my fat warming brush, my cellulite brush. But everybody needs this. You need to always be contouring your body and shaping it. And I pass it along my legs, I pass it along my tummy area. And this has saved my life. This has stopped me from spending $5,000, $10,000 in cosmetics, in skincare. All I do, I use this with a very local, wholesome soap. Local. It's not even in a bottle. It's wrapped. It comes in a brown bag. And this has helped my skin significantly. And my cellulite oil. This is all I use now. I don't buy creams anymore. And this came about in my bathroom. Like I had a couple of oils and I kind of just put everything together. And I put up a funny joke the other day how I started this. I started this with a rolling pin and a glass, right? Because I would see these saddle bags and I just wanted them down, desperately wanted them down. And so I had to educate myself on how to move my fat, how to reduce cellulite, how to tone my body for myself. And then my cups. These cups are not only for cellulite, they improve body circulation.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about like regenerating your skin, you need to have microcirculation going on. So we need to have blood flowing to that area. So this is good for everything, from your face to your legs, your entire body. I encourage women to have this in your routine. Even if you can't do it every day, do it once a week. You know, because we have to remember not all the time we move our facial muscles, for example, if you're face cupping, or not all the time we get to get our skin going the way that it should. We're not treating our skin. So this helps us to kind of get that and constantly have our body rejuvenating. And one of the things I tell everybody, I am a plant, you know, and I approach my healthcare like a plant. You need to trim your plant, you need to water your plant, you need to be out, and we need to look at our skin and our beauty like that. So this is my body care kit. This is just the extendable handle, and it's been doing well for women who they really don't have the money to go and have these expensive treatments, body contouring treatments, health and wellness treatments. And I've been certified recently in body contouring, but the way that I want to do it when it comes on stream is always accessible, always holistic, always healthy, because you can't really get that glow without that understanding that there are other aspects to beauty. And you know, we spoke earlier, I know you were asking me about mindfulness.
Yeah.
And how does that come in? Your mind is what we call, to me, I call it the demigod, and in holistic health and wellness we call it the demigod. And it is the most important thing to control, because everything is in here. If you get up today and say today is awesome, it will be awesome. If you get up today and say today is negative, it will be negative. And in this journey that I've went through, it is all about the mind. It's all about how bad you want it, how much you want it, and where you want to be. And for me, I ultimately just envision a healthy, happy human being living her best life.
So tell me, how do you balance being a mom entrepreneur, balancing life, etc.?
That is still a struggle for me. I never think I'm doing it right. That is the first thing. I never think I'm a good mom because you just never know. There's no manual for motherhood. You can read all the books that you want. Before I had my son, I had all these plans on what kind of mom I was going to be. And then when he was born and I realized his personality, which is probably a lot like my personality, and now I feel sorry for my mother, I realized that I had to kind of adjust those expectations of motherhood. And he has become my priority and my focus. So me getting healthy is because I envision myself being able to run with him, being able to be a very good grandmother, which I'm looking forward to. I want like 6 grandchildren. And it has been just prioritizing his needs over my needs. And as difficult as that may seem and that may sound, it becomes easy when you're a mom, you know that. So you love your kids more than you love yourself. And it became easy when you realize that there's no other purpose, really. There's no other purpose than that offspring or those offsprings or that contribution to society. So for me, I get up every day and I get up early, extremely early. And so I kind of prioritize studying every day. I try to do something productive, which contributes to my knowledge. So I study for at least 3 to 4 hours a day, and that's like from 1 o'clock in the morning. So by the time he gets up at 5, I'm already done. I try to make sure that I have a meal in place. When he's in school, because we had all this online schooling, I don't know how you made out, but it was difficult for me, and I have 1 and he's 4. I try to commit to that, commit to him learning. If I have to go to the gym, he goes with me. Whatever I'm eating, he eats. If I'm filming, he's there. So I guess knowing that this person is always going to be around and he's always going to be that priority, I don't make it an issue anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, plenty times people think that having your kids around is a bad thing. You know, and it's really what kids absorb, you know, is who they're going to become.
Yes.
You know, so
Yes.
if you at your best state and you know your son is seeing that, he will be
Yes.
able to adapt that pattern and get a head start in life, you know.
Because I recently did a video with him and he does the best interviews just from looking at me without even rehearsing it, you know, and he actually sells me anti-cellulite kits. He's always like, Mom, you're anti-cellulite oil, you have cellulite, I think I'm the cellulite queen, you know, for him.
Just the other day, I know my son, my husband showing me that my son posed like a model.
Yes!
I was like, oh my God,
There was
doing it so right.
There was this conversation my husband and I had a while back where this little child was in an ashram and, you know, everybody's trying to teach the child ABC 1 to 3 and they said, no, just leave him. He's going to learn what he has to learn. And eventually the child became, you know, super successful, a very good neurosurgeon, that kind of thing. They do pick up and they do live out. And I think also what we do is sometimes often the foundation for our children.
Yeah.
We always think that sometimes they go off and they do 1,000 different things. But if you look at even your upbringing and the way that your parents would have raised you, you always do things sort of similar or close to that. You never, you know, my mother always said the apple don't fall far from the tree, you know. So for me, balancing that is just understanding that he is the priority. And I have had a lot of people who told me that I live in Solish World. And if you notice now, I just posted up because it is a fact. It will be a fact. And that is my priority. So I'm going to live in Solish World. And it's also a challenge, you know, bringing new people into my life. But it's fine because it's about him. And he is my contribution to the world, you know.
And what advice would you give to upcoming health and wellness coach in the same field?
Be authentic. Be you. There's so many misrepresentation now in the media with how a woman should be, how she should look. And I remember when I started this journey, I told my trainer, I said, I want to have a fat butt, I want to have big boobs, I want to look like a whole Dame Laurel, if that's what they call it. But I had those expectations myself. And coming down to the end, I realized, no, I just wanted to have a really good BMI. I wanted to be athletic. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to be flexible. Be yourself. And whatever form that takes, accept that. Accept your body, accept your face, accept your mind, accept your being. And that sort of have a very a domino effect. It's very contagious when somebody is able to just accept, and I have been going through that journey now that I'm down to that BMI and, learning all these things about nutrition and fitness and wellness and stuff like that. I have now reached that point of acceptance of me. So there's nothing anybody could say now that throws me off. Like people would say before, too aggressive, you're too driven, you're too productive. These are things I actually heard. You're too productive, you're too booky, you're always busy, you're always, that's who I am. And I'm fine with that. Because when I remembered myself and I think back on who I've been since a child, I was always be studying, I was always be doing something productive. So, I don't know when I got lost in thinking that was a problem, but after you go through that journey of holistic health and wellness and really realizing it's more than physical, you just reach to that point of acceptance. And when you reach to that point of acceptance, that's the magic. That is where the glow starts happening. Because no matter what's going on, you have accepted. There's a statement that I make all the time, and I share it to my friends, and they all start using it, and I should really be comfortable in divinity. Be comfortable in who you are, what you will become, and life in general. Just be comfortable and know that that part, however wacky and crazy and painful and ridiculous it may feel, that part is leading you to your highest self. And that's all we really need to reach, our highest self. We don't need to reach our highest self for anybody's expectations or whatever everybody expects of us. It's just that highest point of that position where this is me, this is authentically me, and nothing is going to stop me or take me away from that. And that is also the best position to be for me as a mom, because then I can say to my son, I have done it and I have been authentically me. You go out and be authentically you. And I think he would be a happier person without having to live a life of expectations, even my expectations.
Well, Cherise, thank you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. It's such an inspiration, and I hope that this inspires others, to live their passion.
Thank you, Trisha. You are my first interview. And I am just excited that somebody is able to capture my story. I don't know what tomorrow have for me, I don't know what next week have for me, but this is going to be very important for me, tailoring my brand and communicating the new CSFab, who is now holistic and well, and just looking forward to a very bright future.
Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Cherise, for joining this with me. You can follow her at CSFab Enterprises. I am the Malika Lord, bringing daily inspiration.